Buhari has stepped in. And you see, this goes back
but
to
you
the
know
waste
stepping
panel
for the election
reports
on the 28th of February. You
that
know
talked
stepping
about
on
the
that
fact
one.
that
Rufai, they always talk
INEC
about Buhari,
the
not
INEC
evil
chair
man.
should not be appointed by the president. They should be subject to the NJC for review. And that's where we are going. Because when this resident electoral commissioner went rogue, INEC couldn't discipline him because they didn't appoint him. That's the president that makes the approval as regards that. And for us to have very solid democracy, we must keep tweaking things from time to time.
Nigeria, does they have... It's not a democratic country.
Till date, we have not seen the National Broadcasting Commission come hard on the medium that aired a coup statement in Adamawa, that aired an acceptance speech of an election that was not completed. But we all see how the MBC acts in other cases. So we also want the MBC, the government regulators, to clamp down on all those that were part of this fascist activity that happened in Adamawa State.
Yeah, even the one that happened on the 25th of February, a presidential election. They should clap down on Oluomo and Tinubu. The governorship election too, they should clap down on Sanwo-Olu.
It's only in Nigeria that all of a sudden somebody wants to win an election when the elections are not completed.
I laugh.
If we don't speak evil,
I laugh in Chinese.
We ought to say against evil. The evil continues in
Nigeria country.
This way we are going, we should be careful. Because that was how another person called Adolf Hitler started.
The country is gone. That country is gone, Nigeria.
If ideas like this and things like this are allowed to run amok in society, it starts with an idea. Some people go further to write a book like Hitler wrote Mein Kampf. And they start to populate this ignoble idea in society. Democracy means respect for the rule of law.
It's not in Nigeria. My dear Rufai, not in Nigeria. Right from the creation of Nigeria, there has never been democracy in Nigeria.
The West is there. They are playing. The Russians are definitely there. Because we all know before now they've been getting gold from Dagalo and his people. The Russians have been operating big time in Sudan. Some Egyptian troops were arrested recently, by Dagalo's forces. Those were the troops that were fighting alongside the Sudanese army. They were arrested. Egypt is there. America is there. Anthony Blinken is speaking and all of that. But while all of this happened, the humanitarian crisis, the Sudanese people, what becomes of them in all of this madness between Bonham and Dagalo? Because it's just replica of what happened between Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. And the funny thing is that after John Garang fought for the independence of South Sudan, two of them went rogue. It's exactly what is happening. After Omar al-Bashir left the scene, Bonham and Dagalo are at each other. What happens then to the Sudanese people? Should they go and die because two people are fighting for power? Secondly, let's talk about the impending Sudan that might happen within. We have seen terrorist group get empowered and emboldened in Nigeria. Hope we are not going to wake up one morning in this country and see Russian MiG jets flying in cities, dropping bombs at enemy targets. Yorubas have a saying, Umbo awala dedi. Are we not getting to that point now in this country?
We are.
For almost 50 years now.
All these politicians in Nigeria, they don't listen to all these things. They don't.
The civilians don't count when big political and military forces are involved. I'm so sorry to say that, but that is the honest truth. Look at how many civilians died in the Russian Civil War or in the Bolshevik War, as we know it, between the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks, or between the Red Army and the Royal Army. Look how many millions of Russians died. How about the American Civil War? How many people died?
Do they care?
Between the North and the
South? They don't care now. Where they die, not be like, no, them be chicken now.
Falana, take care of your own. Let me also say how many Nigerians died during the Nigerian Civil War.
Yeah, massacre.
Please, in case there are
Genocide.
people don't understand that
How many people died
to
during Boko
Falana. I'm
Haram
not
time
referring to Falana,
of
the
Buhari
SAN,
government?
but you know,
Till now,
the
till
Yorubas
date.
have a saying, mind your own business before you start minding the business of other people. Is a play on words, but the civilians are always the losers. Unfortunately, this is what we should just accept. There's nothing we can do about it. Those who play the game are those who are armed with the armed forces. We can speak from now on
till tomorrow. They won't change.
Kingdom come about how the civilians are going to suffer. They will always suffer. But in this case of Sudan, the civilians are not innocent, as I have pointed out in my earlier remarks. Because, as I said, they've behaved like spoiled brats, always on the streets, always dividing among themselves. If I have to tell you what happened, in the days of Nadeko, the division amongst us as different groups came in with their own agenda. I've always held that, God was just on the side of Nadeko. You've raised the issue of what I will call Nigerians not taking Nigeria seriously. Nigeria is not a banana republic.
It is, oh guy, don't be
Nigeria
banana now.
has so
Don't be
many
monkey
resources,
banana
and
republic
there
now,
are
be
so
a
many
monkey republic now.
international vultures who have their eyes on these resources and who know that because again of the cleavages amongst ourselves, we are not serious about protecting our resources.
Mumu people, no be now they can't they tell them then
here that will rather form alliances with external forces,
foreigners,
to get a crack at these mineral resources, just to prevent any other party in Nigeria from
human being
having
don't take
access
and destroy
to it.
world when
They
God
will even
creates.
in any case, our
Jehovah.
definition of Nigeria is still one that we need to settle. We need to sit down around a table and have a good conversation among ourselves.
Write all this to Buhari now, to all the politicians, Kabel, Mumu
because
people.
it is when every sector of Nigeria has a share of the cake, not only in
set of people
in cutting it, but in making it that all Nigerians will then see that they have a vested interest in keeping outsiders out. But a situation where
they won't do it, it's kill and divide.
Or there's this perception that it is only a section of Nigeria that decides who bakes the cake, who does the distribution, then there will always be people who will prefer to deal with non-Nigerians. So you are right, but we're not taking ourselves seriously. I am one of those, and my students from University of Ibadan in the 70s who are now retired, they keep in touch with me, and they keep reminding me that, sir, from the 1970s, you've been saying that, Nigeria could be a regional actor. But when would this be? And I said, well, it's not. When I was a minister, I tried my best. And yet, I know the kind of flack I got from surprisingly Nigerian students, Nigerian lecturers, that I was thinking too big for Nigeria, and I should have